Okay, this is the Deepcool CH560 digital version. Digital meaning it comes with the little digital panel here. Temperature for your CPU and your GPU. There's non-digital versions that don't come with this. This little digital display that you plug into your motherboard to display these temperatures jacks the price up. But I think it's a cool little feature to have. For me, it's worth it if you want to have your display. If you're getting a CPU cooler that maybe has a display on it, either an all-in-one cooler or even one of the Deepcool digital, you just need the non-digital version of this case. So let's talk about this case. This is a complete case, in my opinion. And what are the requirements to be called a complete case? Well, it comes with intake fans included. It also comes with an included exhaust fan. A lot of cases, they give you maybe the 3 intake at the front, but they leave out the rear exhaust, knowing that you're going to have to go and buy a rear exhaust. And they tap into your psychology, and people, they want to have a matching rear case fan, right? It just makes sense. So then they go and spend $20, $30, $40, $50 on whatever matching fan is so that they can have a matching with the front. But Deepcool provides it. They provide you with that rear case fan. They provide you with 3 front 140 millimeters, not just 120s, 140s. Complete case, in my opinion. Oh, I'm out of breath because I'm too excited. I'm like a kid, and he needs to just settle down. Okay, it also comes with a dust filter on the front. That also is a complete case. A lot of cases, like look at this Lee & case. It doesn't come with a dust filter, it just comes with this ultra-fine mesh. So a lot of cases are getting away from dust filters, which in my opinion is not good. Complete case, dust filters, fans. Now I just want to quickly show you the RGB because I got the RGB actually powered up. Right now the fans aren't powered, but the RGB is powered up, so I'll show you here. I just got it kind of up to a spare power supply. I'm just going to unplug it and show you about how it's so simple because each fan, all 3 on the front and the rear, it's so convenient. They're all wired. All the RGBs are daisy chained together, right? They're all daisy chained here. All 4 fans. And then the RGB, there's this little adapter that they give you. And it's all pre-installed when you buy the case. But then it just plugs in to this controller, this little RGB controller that's built into the case. So that's another awesome thing about this Deepcool case is they give you this included RGB controller that's built in the case. Then you can cycle through everything with this button, which is wired into this RGB controller. So yeah, all your RGB is wired. All your fans are RGB'd into this little controller. This button is controlling the cycle of the lights on there. And then this, you just power up into your power supply on a SATA power. So you're plugging in your controller in your power supply. And then you just cycle through, right? Here, I'll show you. Very simple. You just plug in your RGB controller like that. Then you have RGB. Then you just cycle through. And then it just cycles through and you can change the effects. Like right now it's just doing like a color effect and there you go red, green, blue, and it just cycles through them all. You got Canada. America! That's America! But it's cool. Now here's another really cool thing about the way that they set all this up for the RGB. Maybe you don't want to control your RGB on your case, and maybe you have a bunch of other cool RGB stuff going on in your case with other lights or fans or whatever else you got in your system being controlled by the motherboard. If you wanted to, you could use this, they give you this little adapter included. So I would just unplug it from this, and I'm gonna do all this when I do my build, but you just unplug it from here and you plug it in here, then you can plug it in your motherboard and use your motherboard software. So it's really, they give you that option to either use this or the motherboard software. How cool is that? Thank you, Deepcool, for giving you all that. And another cool thing about this case is the fans. For all 4 fans, you just have one wire, one cable that plugs into your motherboard. You don't have to do each fan separately for power into your motherboard to get power. They all just tie in. They all just daisy chain, and then they all just Deepcool includes the adapter pre-installed, and then it's just one plug into your motherboard. Super simple. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this front panel off. It comes off like that. Dust filter in there. The dust filter is kind of built into this, it looks like. I do see a handful of screws in there to maybe disconnect it to take the dust filter off. Okay, I just took out 10 little screws just from, you know, around. Then you're able to unscrew this little bezel thing. And then you can get to your dust filter. I still don't understand how this dust filter works. Yeah, so once you get those screws out, you can just take your dust filter out. I think, yeah. So that's how you clean your dust filter. You gotta pull the bezel off, you gotta take out 10 screws, which is actually kind of annoying for the amount of work you're doing. And then you can finally get access to this thing to give it a proper cleaning every, I don't know how long you would do it, every couple months maybe, depending on how dusty you are. That's kind of annoying. They should have made it just so that you can just pull this thing out quick. But you gotta do a bunch of work. I'm lazy, I don't like doing work. I wanna do as little as possible. So that's kind of annoying. Okay, I put my screws, installed all my screws back in. I only did 6 of them, not all 10, because ain't nobody got time for 10 screws for a dust panel, for a dust thing. So there's some missing screws now, right? I got one in there, I left some of them out. Nobody got time for that. There was a thumb screw holding this down, I took it off. This just opens up. Good quality side panel, it's black. Okay, I just wanna, or not, it's not black, it's heavy. I meant to say it's heavy. Doesn't matter if it's black or if it's white, you know what I mean? Okay, I just wanted to quickly talk. Like it goes, the glass window there for the display, that's cool. I wanted to talk about this mesh just on the side panel. Deepcool missed an opportunity here. Because when you have a mesh on your panel, like near the bottom, down in that area, it's really good because when you install these fans, like there's holes to install fans here that blow into your video card. When you are using these fans here to blow cold air, it's good to have mesh here because then it will suck the cool air in and then blow up through to your video card. But because this is solid right here, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having mesh there. What they should have done was have like a big open window or a big open slat or some perforated holes right here so that these fans would suck air from outside of the case down here through the mesh there, through the mesh or perforations or holes here, and then up into your video card. So it's kind of completely pointless to have mesh there because the air isn't going anywhere. Now it's still worth it, I think, to put fans here because it'll just take the air from over here that's blowing in and then up, right? But it's just kind of pointless. It's just more for aesthetics. Oh, I gotta learn how to talk and when I'm breathing, like I'm out of breath just from talking about this stuff. Deepcool makes a cheap case. Like they charge like regular prices, but their cases are cheap. Like this is just cheap. I don't know if you can tell, but it just pushes down. It kind of looks bent. You probably can't tell from the video. But even these like PCI Express slots, everything's just so cheap on these cases. I remember it not being like super budget case. I mean, they give you all this extra features, right? They give you all the fans, they give you the display, they give you a GPU sag, anti-sag, which is a good feature. They make it very simple by connecting all the fans together, daisy chaining everything. Then you just need one connection for your power, one for. So I say it's cheap, but it's still a good value. It looks like there's lots of room up top to work. Holes for cable management. There's lots of room up top to work with, and I'm going to be installing a 280 water cooler. Cable management's very basic, but that's all you need. You don't need complex cable management. That's a feature that case manufacturers, look at our cable management, like they're starting to put doors on the back, and it's just a waste of money. I don't know. Cable management is overrated. As long as all your cables are in, as long as you're not impeding your airflow, cable management is one of those things, in my opinion, that's just, it's too, I don't know what the word is. But yeah, very basic cable management. Look at this. I want to show you something. Look how cheap this power supply filter is. It's so cheap that they got to tape it down to hold it in place. Otherwise it's going to fall out. Let's take this tape off. Look how cheap it is. It just, look at this. What the heck am I supposed to do with this? It's gonna fall out anytime you move your case or bump it. Deepcool really cheap. This is what I mean by cheap. They really cut these corners, and I don't think you really see that in the savings when you buy these cases. Like you don't, like they cheaped out on the power supply filter. Like they don't have the cool little sliding sled thing that you can put there, right? They cheap out and they put this shitty little thing that doesn't even have a good seal. Like air's just gonna, air's just gonna go in through the sides there. Look, the case even has spots where you can slide the, for the little plastic filter that you can slide in there like other cases. They even have the little slots there, but yet they don't give you a good filter for your PSU. They give you this cheap junk. I mean, it's gonna work, but it's not gonna, it's annoying. It doesn't provide a good seal on the sides. They're just gonna seep through the side, in my opinion. We'll see. I don't know, maybe I'm just angry now. I'm all fired up. Deepcool. Okay, let's go ahead and build in this bad boy. All right, so the power supply has to go in on the side. You can't put it in on the back and then screw it in. It has to go in on the side and then screw in. Straightforward. Just ram her in there. Then ram some screws in there. Screw it hard in there. Okay. I can't get it in. That's what my girlfriend always says. You can't get it in. So, but that's how you install the power supply. I like to pre-run all my cables before I put the motherboard in. Here's my 8-pin CPU power. It'll just run up here and kind of go into this hole. This hole down here for the motherboard or CPU power is nice and big. So that's good. Thank you, Deepcool. Some cases they're smaller, they're not in the right spot, or they're in a weird, and it's just, this is good. This is a good one. Decent. Okay, so that little digital display, that's the digital display on the side, right? It's just plugged in with a USB cable. That's USB. Doesn't look like it, but it is. And then that cable just comes into one of these, and then this will just plug into your motherboard. And then the display just gets the information from software on your computer. And that's how you connect it, this little thing. So I'll plug that in later. Yeah, all these fans are, look at this rat's nest of just, Deepcool didn't really do a good job of even trying to organize it. They just kind of plugged everything in and just zip tied it down there and just threw it all in. I love it. I hate cable management, so I love it. I love that Deepcool did this, and it's gonna probably annoy a lot of cable management enthusiasts, people that have OCD. I love it. This is gonna be a horrible cable management job by yours truly, because I hate cable management. Who cares what the cables look like on the back? I know a lot of people take it as a point of pride, how clean it is, and they care about their stuff. I'm lazy. I don't like cable management, so I love that Deepcool just threw it all in there like that. That's funny. Okay, I'm gonna show you how you plug this little display into your motherboard, how simple it is, so that you can look at your CPU and your GPU. All you have to do find the cable connection that it's connected to. It's a USB. All you do is plug that into your motherboard USB input or header or harness, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to fish that underneath there. And plug it in to the motherboard's connection. That's it. Now when I boot the computer up and I'm in Windows, you have to download a little piece of software for the operating system and hardware to be able to communicate with this and display it. Super simple. I'll do that too when I'm done. Okay, everything was very easy to install in this case. Lots of room to work with. Everything went swimmingly. So I installed the little front panel thing already. Like the connector is just all you do is plug it into there and that's it. I installed everything else pretty much. I'm just gonna put the graphics card in now, my 3090, and then I'm gonna see how well this little anti-sag thing works, this little doohickey works. This little diddler, this little diddly. So let's go ahead and ram this bad boy in there. Get in there. Get in there. Isn't that from like a movie? Get it in there. I can't remember what that's from. Get it in there. Okay, so here's my little anti-sag. I'm just gonna raise that up. You just do that on the back. There's a couple little thumb screws there and it just goes up. Look at that. Okay. I don't know if you can see this, but this is not doing anything. This little, it's the screw underneath there is taking all the weight of the video card. And this little thing does shit. Okay. Like as it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, that screw makes contact with the video card. And then this little thing doesn't make any contact. What a piece of junk. Come on, Deepcool. What's going on? Where's your quality control on this? So all the weight, I mean, I guess it still is kind of supporting the graphics card, right? Just by this little part right here. But this whole thing is just a waste. That was an overlook by Deepcool. That's very disappointing because I know they did that mistake on other cases. They had this exact same thing on another case. Actually, this one right here, the 510, CH510. And they haven't improved it. They haven't fixed this. That would make it through their quality control again on this case. Okay, let's go ahead and plug in the front 3 and the rear fan into the motherboard. Remember, all 3 of these fans and this rear fan in the back are all daisy chained together. They're all daisy chained together, power and RGB. So there's only 2 connections you gotta do. This PWM power is gonna do all 4 fans. So that's very nice of Deepcool to make it that simple. So let's plug that into the motherboard. Okay, I got the all 4 fans power plugged in right there. Just one connection, super simple. Now let's do the RGB. Remember, the RGB all the RGBs are also daisy chained together, and they're all plugged into this controller. And now this controller just needs power, and then it's set and ready to go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna plug that in, the controller into a SATA power. That's it. Get in there. That's it. Now, so yeah, that's plugged in. It's ready to go. I can use this now when I'm running my computer. They give you this adapter too. But if you wanted to run just all your RGB on your fans and everything, you could just plug this in into like your motherboard or something, right? Or into other RGB components. Like if you wanted to use your motherboard or a sync or your MSI Mystic or your, what are the other ones, the Gigabyte one, Fusion. You can just plug all this stuff into that same stuff and then plug it in your motherboard. And it comes with an adapter if you need. It came with this little 3-prong thing. But that's it. Let's start this boy up. So I went through all the RGB effects on this little integrated controller, and there isn't any just static color. You can have one color, but then it's just pulsating. So if you like just having a static color, which is what I like, you'll want to plug the little RGB into your motherboard and use your motherboard control. But yeah, the build's good. It went very smooth. There's lots of room. Like if I wanted to add more RAM sticks, there's enough room up top where if you wanted to add more RAM sticks, you could, or change out your RAM, you could. Like there's lots of clearance up there. You can fit a 360 radiator in the front. You can fit a 360 up top. It's a really good looking case. It looks better in real life than it does on the pictures. But I'm gonna install the software for the LED. I'll just show you how to do that, I guess, quickly. So it works. Just go to Deepcool CH560, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, the digital, let's Google it, software, digital software. Go to Deepcool's website. Go to downloads there. Deepcool digital setup. So I just went to the case, went to the Deepcool, the case that I'm on, the Deepcool, the 560 digital. Go to downloads, get your digital setup. Download that. But anyways, let's open up this little Deepcool application here. Yeah, choose install options. Only for me because I'm the only user. Install the Deepcool. Deepcool Digital is running. Click OK to close it. If it doesn't close, close it manually. I think I actually had a Deepcool program on from another build that maybe I didn't uninstall it. Deepcool Digital cannot be closed. Please close it manually and click to retry. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep hitting retry. See if I got the Deepcool, the old Deepcool control or something from another build. Yeah, I already had this Deepcool Digital from another case. Let's uninstall it because it's okay. It was just running in my little tools in down here, the old program. So I uninstalled that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and install the new Deepcool Digital. Install. Why isn't this working? So it's installed on my computer. Let's reboot it. Device not found. Please ensure correct connection. Okay, I just switched the USB connection on my motherboard. Maybe the other one's faulty or something on my motherboard. So I switched it over. And now I have my display. I gotta turn these lights off. So it looks bad on the camera, but it's actually really sharp in real life. It's like this, it's like a score clock in like a hockey rink or like a football field. It's like a scoreboard clock. You can't really see it on video on my phone. Maybe if I turn that down. So you can kind of see it there. It looks way better in real life. It's good in real life. And it shows CPU usage, GPU usage, and the temperatures. So let's open a program here. Let's watch the CPU go up. There, see it went up a little bit because I opened up a program. So that's cool. GPU's going up a little, it went up there a bit. Cool. Overall, I think it's a pretty good case. I think it is worth the money because you get 3 fans at the front, 3 140s, not just 120s, but 3 140 fans installed in the front, a rear fan in the back. So you don't got to go and buy stuff after. After you buy your case, you don't have to go and buy other stuff. It's a complete case, so I think it's worth it. You get this cool digital thing, that GPU anti-sag bracket. I mean, it still actually technically would take some load off the GPU because this little part is holding some of the load, but I don't know what's going on there. Come on, that's like I'm not even gonna talk about that anymore. But I think if you put all your money, like what you're really paying for with this case is this cool display for CPU temperature, GPU temperature, and the usages and all fans. So I think it's worth it to get this case. This really is a beautiful case. I really like the style of it, the design of it. I really like the look of this mesh. It's way better in person, even though the mesh doesn't really serve any other purpose. It looks really good. This case is very nice. And I think with the features it offers you, like there's obviously some flaws, like the little GPU anti-sag. The dust filter is weak. Even this dust filter in the front's very hard to get at. But I think with all the other stuff, if you're buying this case, you're definitely getting your money's worth, I think. So if you want it, get it. If you're not sure about it, put it on your list of cases to get and do some more research with other cases.